for another session of Jusatoon and an Aurora. I'm Algared and I'll be taking Jusatoon and if you're wondering why I just stopped, it is because I'm Algared, I'm your host. I'll be taking Jusatoon about the verse as we endeavour to explore the gameplay and the things that you can do in Star Citizen 3.12a or 3.12.1 or whatever version it is at the moment. On this day we'll be looking at doing some trading missions, possibly some box missions. They're a little bit difficult in an Aurora because these days box missions tend to be 3 boxes, and the Aurora is pretty challenged for storage space, but they are still doable. I'll also try and do some trade missions. I may do or attempt to do a bounty on just some NPCs. I suck as being a bounty hunter and a combat pilot, and while the Aurora does seem to be quite a tanky little ship, it doesn't help if you're not a good pilot, and it wouldn't matter what ship you've got. If you're not a good pilot, you're not going to be a good dogfighter, and that's my bane. So let's head out. So just as normal, when we're heading out, we will be using our mouse and keyboard, and it's usual movement: W to move forward, S to move back, A to strafe left, D to strafe right, and then to turn you use your mouse sliding side to side, looking up and looking down. Quite simple commands. To interact with objects, it is always press the F key, and you can see once F key is pressed and I mouse over objects, they start to glow yellow if they are interactable. If I can access them, you'll see they glow orange, and then it's just a matter of left clicking. So that's the same with every command you use in Star Citizen when you're interacting with objects. Same as when I go to the door. F, click, open. When we come to the lift, the interaction is a little bit more complex. So here what we do is we F, click, and we then see the lift is coming to our floor. It's this one where it's a little bit more complex. So here I could go down to the lobby, I could also go to a different floor, and it's just a matter of which one I select will determine where I go. So those who are wondering what planet I'm on, I am on Microtech. Microtech is the 4th planet of the Stanton system. It's the furthest out from the sun, Stanton, and just got to find that's the way I want. And due to an anomaly when the planet was being terraformed, it is an ice planet, so it tends to be alpine forests. There are areas where you've got lush meadows, but generally the planet is ice cold, and this has influence on the clothes you will wear. If you're not wearing clothes that protect you from extreme environment and you're out in the cold, you will take damage or eventually die. So it is not worth. So you do need to make sure you've got the right equipment. I did hear one story of someone who was playing the game, and they made the comment that they died because the pilot was too slow. They froze to death, was the comment. I froze to death because the pilot was no good. They were travelling around the planet in a car or vehicle when that happened. Now, you should be able to join me in chat and ask me questions. I'd love to see what you're saying. I'll just make sure I've got that open, which is why I did open the YouTube. So if you just bear with me, I will go back to the YouTube. There it is. So if you are watching the YouTube, please drop by, do leave a comment. You can chat, and I'd love to hear from you. Don't forget, if you like what I'm doing and you want to see more, please like and subscribe. It does make me feel wanted and loved and special and all those nice other things. So anyway, we are at Crusader. Sorry, we're not at Crusader, we are at Microtech DME, and we're just heading to the ship terminals. We're going to be calling for our Aurora, and then we'll be leaving Microtech, and I think we're going to head to while I do like Crusader, the winds on Crusader's moons and Crusader are often pretty difficult. If you were watching yesterday, you will have noticed that when I went to the moon Retrieval, or the furthest moon out from Microtech, and left the ship was blown away by the winds, and so I logged out, which meant when I came back at Microtech. So that was a frustration, and it's just one of those things that occasionally you do need to deal with. So today I'm not going to be flying around Microtech. I'm going to go to Hurston, which is the planet where Lorville is. Generally I don't like Hurston. The landing in the Lorville is a bit more difficult than other places, but one of the advantages is that Hurston is not going to kill me in terms of temperature, unless I go to one of the moons, in which case I will need a suit. So what I'm going to try and do is just see if I can do a couple of trade missions around Hurston and see how we go. Waiting. Okay. I must have missed the door. A bit bluggy. So if you ever do get a criminal charge or a fine, you can come to one of these machines. Again, usual drill, F and click, and then this will enable you to log on and see what your crime status is, or how that is. As you can see, I have no outstanding fines. I'm a good little lass, Alicia Julia Beaumont or something like that. I'm not really certain what her full name is. The idea of it is it kind of picks up the Romanesque names, a bit like James T. Kirk is the idea of a name, and kind of a bit ostentatious and over the top. But her call sign is Jusatoon, or Jusatoon. One of the things I do like about the Aurora is it is actually quite a little tanky ship. It can seem to take a bit of damage, and which is surprising for such a small ship and beginner ship. I wouldn't want to be facing a size 10 weapon blasting at me, or even a size 7. But I was surprised when I was endeavouring to do a bounty against some NPCs last week, and I was fighting 2 or 3. Oh yes, and I've got to call the I've got to make a claim on the ship. As you can see, it was destroyed at Retrieval, basically because of the wind blowing the ship away, which caused me to have to log out there. So we'll claim our ship. And while that's going on, we may as well see if we can get some food and water to add to our pack. So we'll go over to here. Let's see if there's food in the shop. It doesn't look like there is. Oh yes, there is. Good, yay! Sometimes when a server's new, the shop shelves are empty. We're going to stow it. Alright, let's see. Bottle of water. We'll get some of these munchies. Let's see. Yeah, we'll get one of them. The shopkeeper is such a whingy tune, isn't it? Like, he really should understand that being a shopkeeper, his job is to pick up after people. Now, for some reason, it didn't let me stow that. I'm not sure why it's not letting me stock that or stow that. Let's see, we'll do that. And because I've got a helmet on, I can't eat. So we'll just carry it. Means that if I drop it, if I try and do something else, I'm likely going to lose that food bar. Let's have a look, see if we can work out why it won't store. So we've got one bottle, we've got plenty of space in there to store our carib bar, or whatever type of protein bar it is. Clearly we've got a little bug. Okay, where is that carib bar? There it is, and now it lets me stow. Okay, so I'm not sure I managed to get back because I was still trying to walk for some reason. Nope. So you can see we've got a little bit of a bug here. I'm not sure why we're getting this. Let's just wipe my protein bar at it. Why is it still doing that? Okay, you can see we certainly have an issue here. Protein bar is not in my hand, so what I'm going to try and do is take off this helmet. And hopefully that fixes the issue. Let me just go back to game. I've accidentally just cancelled. I've actually just quit the game by the look of it. Or no, we've just crashed. So I'll come back in a second and start again. Back to the hab. If you're watching, I'd love to love for you to leave me a comment in the YouTube. I will be able to see that and interact with you. I'd also love it if you like and subscribe. It does make me feel wanted and loved and special and all those other nice, wonderful things. And if you have liked and subscribed already, that's also fantastic. And I hope you're enjoying what I'm doing. Whole screen still. And of course I forgot to restart my voice when I had to restart the game, which is really frustrating. Thank you for letting me know, Trey. I've just been talking to myself, as usually happens when that, that goes on. So I'm going to be, if I can get off Microtech, I'm going to be going to Hurston Dynamics. While Lorville is a pain in the butt, the planet itself won't kill me, and I can go anywhere on the planet and lots of locations. ArcCorp on the other side, again, doesn't kill me, and I don't need special armor to survive there either, but there is really only the one landing point, and so you're fairly limited in what you can do. So when I go to Hurston, I'll try see if I can do some just delivery missions or missions or trade missions on Hurston itself, and I don't know whether I can. I've never tried that. I've never tried just doing missions from the local outposts to the main settlement. I'm assuming that's possible, but we'll find out one way or the other. Okay, we're going to run again just because we lost so much time due to the crash. Again, as usual, F and click. Okay, running again, get to our terminal. Some of the guys who know me would be horrified to see me running like this. On the other side, the Aurora is now ready for flight. So the Aurora I have is still pretty much stock. The only thing that has been added are a couple of attritions. So attrition size 1, so I've got 4 weapons on my Aurora MR. Number 4. Yep. Standard hangar for me seems to be when I come to Hurston. So these the gun here, that's we've got 2 of those on the Aurora when you first get it. They're usually positioned on the chin, so down here, and those 2 wing mounts are empty. But I have bought these 2 attrition size 1 guns. One of the things with attritions is they're not ballistic like the guns that come with the ship. Attritions also have the advantage of, as you fire them and as they heat up, they actually give out more damage. So in the long run, I will need a better power plant on this on my ship. But at the moment, since I think I've generally avoided combat, it's not something I've had to worry about. But you, of course, if I do encounter some combat, I'm likely to get blown out of the sky, unless I can run away, which I will probably do. Okay, so when I'm in my ship, there are 2 ways I can start my ship. I can either use flight ready or power on and go through the different stages, or I can use the mobi-glass, not the mobi-glass, or I can use the keyboard and just press the R key. I think the last couple of times I've used flight ready, so this time I'm just going to press R. By pressing R, it turns everything on, and the ship starts powering up with shields and other components. While that's going on, I'm going to set my flight So I'm going to press F2. F2 brings up my star map. If I keep my mouse pointer in the middle, that's where everything's going to focus or move. If I move it around, you can see as I scroll out, it starts to go to where that is. So we're currently on Microtech. I'm not going to worry about trying to go to the moons. Last time I went there, the wind blew my ship away, and that was not very nice. I certainly didn't enjoy having to log out because my ship had been blown away. But we're going to Hurston, which is down here. I can double click on that now and it'll zoom in on Hurston. I can now scroll in further and get to Hurston. We're just going to go to the space station. We're going to use that as our base, I think. Actually, we'll go to the base. We'll see what we can buy here. Might go down to the planet and have a look at the weapons. I might buy in a couple more attrition 1 for the wings, so I've at least got 4 weapons of the same. Or I might buy look at getting some disruptors, which will have an impact on the shields of ships that I'm combating. Alright, so we're just going to go to the space station. As you can see here, to get to the space station, I need to go to the orbital marker 1 for Microtech. I then do a jump to Hurston, which is going to use quite a lot of my fuel. From there, I do a jump to orbital marker 4 for Hurston, and then a small jump to Everest Harbour, the station that's in orbit above Lorville. I could probably, after I've done the orbital marker jump, just fly to the space station, but the jump will save me 10-15 minutes, and if that's something, if you're only limited in the amount of gameplay you've got or the amount of time you've got to play, those little jumps will save you 10-15 minutes each time, which is always a good thing to keep in mind. But on the other side, if you've got plenty of time, you can take a nice leisurely flight and enjoy the sights of Stanton. We're not going to worry about that though. So once we've set our target, we close our mobiGlas. I could have used my computer down here, so I could have used the star map here, but it tends to be a bit small, and sometimes I do find it rather glitchy. So setting your navigation using your mobiGlas, I find the easiest and most productive way to do that. Right, we want to get out of here. We're just going to use our comm channel since it's up here, and we can see the space station air traffic control. We click on the little speech bar and they will give us clearance to take off. Once we're cleared to launch, space bar to take off, and to raise our landing gear. It's always good to raise your landing gear, and then scroll up to the maximum for the speed and head up to space. Now I could just keep my fingers on the W key for forward movement. I'm going to, because I don't want to have to just hold my finger on the W key while I'm picking up speed, I'm going to press C, which is for cruise control. With cruise control pressed, and you can see the icon just there for cruise control, that little arrow, and that indicates that we're on cruise control. The bar tells me what I've set the speed that I want to be traveling at. You just got to bring that speed back to 90, so we're actually flying, not tilting backwards to our doom. If I'd left it alone, I'd have ended up doing a great big loop and crashing back into the planet. So you can see the acceleration is slowly increasing as we pull further and further away from the planet. Hang on. Sorry about that. Being disturbed by household members. So I apologise for that interruption. We'll finally left the armistice zone. What I might do is see if I can get to the jump points now. Sometimes when you're a certain height you can do it. So we're going to activate our jump drive by pressing B. Once it's spooled up, we'll hold B again, and that will just jump us to the orbital marker. We're ready, so we're jumping. I think I just cancelled my jump drive. Or we've got a glitch. I'm not sure which yet. Yeah, it's a bit glitchy and slow. So we accidentally somehow managed to cancel our jump while it was spooling up, or while we were just about to make our jump, which is why we had to do a second one there. So that is Hearthstone's marker there. Again, usual drill, B to spool up our quantum drive. And once we're spooled up, we hold B and away we go. So this flight will take us a little time, so we may as well have a look at the Aurora as we fly around. And this is the Aurora you actually see on the thumbnail and the title of Jusatoon and an Aurora. You can see Microtech disappearing in the background there. But this is the Aurora MR. The Aurora MR is the starter ship that comes in the basic pack, and it is quite a good little ship. It does have a bed in the back, so you can actually log off and log out in the ship, and that will generally save your location. It has the ability to have 4 weapons, 2 on the wings and 2 under the nose. It also has 2 size 1 missiles. It's not the best Aurora. In terms of cargo hauling, this can only carry 3 units of cargo, like most of the Auroras. The CL, or the Clipper, can take 6. The 6 units it carries puts it on par with the Mustang. But whereas the Aurora can do box missions, or little delivery missions where you pick up a little box and take it to someone, the Mustang really suffers. It doesn't have any internal space. It's only got the cockpit, and so it does make it really difficult, if not impossible, to do those missions. And so if you're looking at just having a single ship, and you've only got enough to buy a starter pack, in some ways the Aurora is actually a really good ship for that. It does enable you to do the box missions, it does enable you to log out in game, it does enable you to go through some upgrades. The Mustang, on the other hand, is a more nimble ship. It tends to be a better dogfighter than the Aurora, although the Aurora is quite tanky. The Mustang does have a larger cargo bay, or a larger cargo capacity. Now, with the Aurora and the Mustang, both of those ships actually don't have their cargo area kind of listed. They don't actually have a cargo bay. What they normally, or what they will have in game, is a box that locks in underneath, and you can see underneath where the box would go. You can see the clamps on the side and the back. The Mustang has a similar setup. The Auroras generally have a box that's half the size of what the Clipper has and the Mustang has. But as I said, the Auroras do have that ability where boxes of their the little carry box missions can be done on the Aurora. They can't really be done on a Mustang. So what makes a Mustang a good ship as well? The Mustang in ship value is valued at $5 more, and so if you're someone who thinks, well, I'm going to buy this ship and then maybe I want to upgrade a bit further down, then the Mustang is a better ship, because if you want to add more money to the game to do what's called a cross chassis upgrade or a CCU, the Mustang will give you a $5 discount effectively. But these ships generally, they're very cheap in game. The Aurora LN, which is the best, I think the best combat ship of the Auroras, is around 40,000 UEC. Quite easy to acquire that cash. It would probably only take it, if you're working in an Aurora, it would probably only take you a week or two if you're doing a couple of hours a day doing trade missions, depending on what you're carrying, or if you're just doing box missions, which can usually be about 8,500 for taking 3 boxes to 3 locations. And so in that sense, it's not really something to be concerned about. The starter ship, the Aurora and the Mustang, all you need in game. And I personally, when I got this pack for this account, I made sure it was an account that was one that had Squadron 42 with it as well. I probably didn't really need that. I've got Squadron 42 on my main account, but I think that if you're buying the pack, you really want Squadron 42 and the PU. PU is the multiverse, I suppose. Squadron 42 will be the single player game with the video clips and other things, the cutscenes, and it is the game that's got, you know, Mark Hamill and John Rhys Davies and Gary Oldman, and the list of stars is reads like an A-grade movie, a AAA movie, and so that is something I think anyone who's looking at the game should be getting. So you heard the sound of our engines kind of passing the halfway mark, or starting their kind of cool off, and so we should be seeing Hurston start to appear soon. We are over halfway. The sun is now behind us, rather than the sun's beside us, rather than in front of us now. And if I look at our map, and it's not letting me scroll back, being a pain in the bottom. Always the way when I want to show something. Typical. But you can see we're very close now. And welcome to whoever else is watching the stream at the moment. I know Trey is, but I also know there are several others who are watching the stream but haven't yet said hello, so welcome. If you've got a question about Star Citizen, feel free to ask it in the chat and I will endeavour to answer it. If I don't know the answer, I will find out and let you know next time. Or it's possible someone else in the stream will know the answer as well. Alright, powering up our quantum drive. It's now powered up, so we now do the jump. That's what that first jump should have been like. Okay, the square box tells us that that's a station, and so we're going to power up to a station. As you can see, Everest Harbour, 870 odd meters, kilometers away. I'm going to start scrolling back my speed because I know that that is going to be could be an issue, and we're now going to go B. And there is Everest Harbour. So each planet tends to have a station above it. Currently, Crusader has Orison, Microtech has Tressler, Hurston has I've forgotten the name of this one, dear me. But they've got the different stations. Each one has a different name. There are stations throughout the verse, so there's not just 4 planets and half a dozen moons. There are probably 20 or 30 stations within the Stanton system as well. The Stanton system is a fairly populated system, but we'll find there are other systems that don't have as many planets or moons in them as Stanton does, but we should find that lots of places will have stations and different stations throughout the system as the game comes online. We're just going to increase our speed, otherwise we'll never get to the station if we're only travelling about 5 or 10 meters a second. Actually, what I might do, I may actually go down to the planet rather than the space station. And what I'll do, I think, is I'll go and then purchase a mining vehicle. And then with the mining vehicle, what I'll do is I'll just drive around and see if I can do some land mining on the surface of Hurstville. Not sure if I can buy a mining vehicle on Hurston. And if I can, I'm not sure where. Now, rather than quantum to the planet, which I could do, so I could do a quantum jump. I'm not going to do. I'm just going to fly down to the planet. Let's see if we can get the heat trails as we fly down. Yeah, we're starting to get the heat trails, I think. Nope. There's more there. Where'd Lorville go? had a visual on Lawville earlier and I've lost it because I didn't pay attention to where there's Lawville. Because I was trying to get the re-entry burn. We can see Lawville from here. So Trey, do you know if you can buy the ROC vehicle miner on Lawville? So we're just flying to Lawville at the moment. You can see the main structure of Lawville in the distance there. One of the advantages of this planetary location is you can actually see it from orbit, and so you can actually eyeball it and then fly down to it. As I was saying before, the only difference of doing a quantum jump is it saves you 10-15 minutes, but one of the nice things about doing the jump is you can just enjoy the sunrise or other features of the planet, and the planets in Star Citizen are really, really nice. I do actually feel that Hurston feels a lot like the Australian outback. Seems to have lots of eucalypt trees and scrub. What it lacks is magpies and kookaburras and drop bears and other critters that are trying to kill you. Welcome to whoever's just joined us on the channel. Lovely to see you here this morning. We're just in our Aurora. We're about to arrive at Louisville. We're going to land and we're going to see if we can pick up a land vehicle and go mining. Yes, I know I could fly the ship and do other things, but one of the things that I've only got at the moment is hand mining tools, and so if I pick up a land mining vehicle, I can actually go to an outpost, summon the land mining vehicle at the outpost at a platinum blue or a platinum bay landing pad, and then drive that vehicle out and then come back at that point, and hopefully still pick up my Aurora, which hopefully would still be nearby. Okay, air traffic controls told us that we are now in range of them, so we're going to press F, and we're going to do the same as we did last time. We'll click on the Louisville landing services, and they will give us a landing zone. Again, that was F and then clicking. Right, so there's our landing zone down there, I think. Go on the other side of that one. I thought we were on the other side of that already. Put our landing gear down by pressing N. Line ourselves up. And if I'm not careful, I'll blow up, because, you know, just because I'm approaching it and looking like I'm knowing what I'm doing never fails. That's when you're more likely to make a stuff up and kill yourself. Turn off this. Level ourselves up. We'll just level ourselves up a bit more. Make ourselves level. If I press N, what will happen is I'll go into automatic mode, but we don't need to do that because we've landed. Okay, we're going to turn off our engines. So we'll turn our engine off. We're also going to recharge our quantum drive, our hydrogen, and do any repairs that we need to. I personally prefer to do this whenever I land, assuming that the game is not being buggy and not allowing me to. Because it just means I keep my ship in good nick. You never know when that extra % is going to come back and bite you. Also, I find that generally you need to do your repairs one at a time. The game is still a bit buggy, and as you can see, it's not even showing the full amount there. And usually it's do hydrogen fuel for last. With my engines off, you won't really see the things change. Certainly you won't see hydrogen change because it's showing 0% at the moment. Okay, we'll go back to our and we'll go, and you can see that even though I refueled the quantum fuel, it's still saying 150, even though we've seen it go up. So that is the ship should be repaired and refueled. At that point, we now will get out of our cockpit. Now if I was to log out, I would log back in at Lawville. So I think I will go up and buy a couple more attrition guns to start with. Attrition size ones to put on the wings, so we've got 4 attrition guns working at the same time. That will give me 1 targeting pip rather than 2, and it will also mean I'll be able to just put them all as a single thing. So I'll have 4 size 1 guns firing at the same target at the same point, rather than 2 different types of guns firing at different points, firing at different rates. So we want to go up to the lobby, or to the spaceport, sorry. When we get up, what we'll do is we'll go to the terminal and we'll store our ship. And that has the advantage of just removing the ship from play. It frees up that landing point for other people turning up to the game or trying to spawn a ship. While probably not a big issue at the moment, with not many people playing or currently playing, it will be quite an advantage to do that, and quite friendly gameplay to do when you get to a spaceport once we have more people playing the game, or if it's a busy station. And so you can see the store button icon, and we're going to click that to store our ship. Give it a bit of time, and now it's been stored. Alright, well, let's see if we can pick up an Aurora. I don't know if I can, not an Aurora, a mining vehicle from this shop. I don't think I can. Let's see if he'll do. Nope, does he have anything for us? Does he speak to me? Nope. Okay. So I know. Actually, what is the prospector worth? I think it's worth over $1 million. 2,061,000. That's more than I've got. So that's no good. What I'd like to know, what I'd like to be able to do is get a new deal. Let's see what we can get here. That touch screen F. Alright. Well, we could buy Alpha. So the Mustang Alpha here, this is the other starter ship that comes with games. I'm not a fan of the Mustangs myself. The only reason I would have them on an account is if I knew I was intending to upgrade the ship on the account itself to a bigger ship, because it will give me a $5 discount compared to, say, using the Aurora. But then if I know I'm going to do that and I've got the cash available, I would say it's probably better just to do that straight off. Okay, so let's see what else. Tumbril Cyclone, that's a vehicle, AA vehicle that fires missiles, 28,000. Now, these vehicles are about $30 in game, or $50 in game. Now, CIG sell UEC for $1 per 1,000. Now, this is Alpha UEC, so it's kind of not, you know, it's not the end game set up at the moment. But if CIG is selling the Tumbrils for around $50 and they're in game at 28,000, it's just not worth having them. They're going to be that easy to earn. A couple of runs in an Aurora, a couple of parcel missions in an Aurora, 3 parcel missions at 8,500 a pop, will give you enough to buy, will give you enough credits to buy Tumbril Cyclone or another vehicle. The Aurora MR, which is what I've got, 184,000. 900 UEC. Tumbril Cyclone again, that's just a standard one. The Ursa Rover, 70,000. The Ursa Rover is quite a good little vehicle. It's enclosed. It does have weapons. It's a nice vehicle to move around and drive around on the planet's surface, but it's not really doing what I need. Then you've got I think it's a racing vehicle, again 28,000. You've got the exploration vehicle, which is has a scanner on it. Then you've got the Tumbril with basically a size 1 gun on the back for a gunner. And you can see the different value of the ships here. The LX is 245,000. That's Aurora with basically it's the same as that's a luxury version of Aurora. The Aurora. It's said it's got a leather seat. It's supposed to be more comfortable for the pilot. The big difference is against the MR is that it has a bigger missile rack. So instead of taking 2 size 1 missiles, it can take I think it's 2 size 2 missiles, but it's a slightly bigger rack. I can't remember which size it is. The big one, the best Aurora is the Aurora LN. The Aurora LN. Oh, sorry. The Aurora LN. If I can see it. Oh, I don't have the Aurora LN here. The Aurora LN is the better of the Auroras. It has the ability to take 4 size 2 missiles. Those 4 size 2 missiles mean you could take 8 size 1 missiles, 4 size 2, 2 size 3, or 1 size 4, which makes the Aurora LN significantly better than the other Auroras. But we're not after and the Mantis. That's a really nice ship to fly, has a really nice clear view, but that's about all it does. But we're after, let's see, what's the Aurora Origin? Let's see. Wow, very expensive. So I'm just looking at the so this is the rock mining vehicle. I am going to buy that. It's going to take 50% of my funds. But one of the things I do believe with this is because I can spawn it at most outposts, what it does give me the ability to do is fly to the outpost, get out, spawn that little vehicle, and drive to the location and mine. Because if I'm on Lawville, that makes it really easy because Lawville doesn't have atmosphere that's going to kill me. In other places where the atmosphere is hostile or too hot or too cold, because it's an open cab, I would be needing to wear either the Pembroke or the Novikov armor. Pembroke if it's really hot, Novikov if it's really cold. Both of those armors are rated for extreme, so the Pembroke gives rated from minus 75 degrees Celsius up to 225 degrees Celsius, whereas the Novikov armor is rated for minus 225 degrees Celsius up to 75 degrees Celsius. So they're the complete opposites of each other. So if you're going into the extremes, wearing one of those armors will enable you to then drive your mining vehicle to wherever you want with no hassle or concern. So we are going to get the Novikov, not the Novikov, the Tumbrel, the Greycat. It is pretty awesome, since he's asking me how good it is. And I'm also going to have a look at the Aegis. So Aegis is probably the ship I'm going to want it to go to first, and this is the ship I'm going to try and get first, I think. The Avenger Titan. It is, I think, the best ship in game for a beginner player. It's the type of ship I would encourage most people to upgrade to. It is on par with the 300i, so, but if I go down and have a look at the 300i, do they have a 300i here? No, they don't have any 300i's. It's on par with the 300i, but you can see even the 100 series is, which are significantly inferior to the Avenger, more than it, and it's just criminal. But not that one. But the Avenger Titan, good loadout, good interior, good cargo space, and it's within a reasonable credit amount for people. So that's the Titan. Sorry, that's the Titan. Well worth having. I would suggest also the 300 series, but again, they're just overpriced, and even though they're comparable and lovely ships to fly, it's just, if you're scraping for real cash, it's not worth getting. This one, again, if you're looking at doing trade missions and you're making it 8,500 a trip, you can see that this one would take you numerous trips, numerous cargo missions to do that. But that will be the grind that a lot of people will be doing, and that's the only reason I think you spend other in the game. By spending other in the game, you can by spending other in the game, you can cut out some of the grind. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go back to the terminal. We're going to call up our Aurora. We're going to fly to one of the mining stations on Lawville, and I'll be able to do this on any planet now. I'll just need to reclaim the rover when I want to use it. But being so cheap, it's going to be fairly quick to reclaim as well. Now, I'm not seeing the rover turn up here. This is for the ships. If I go to one of the garages or the perimeter entrances, I'd be then able to call up the ROC mining vehicle. The reason I'm not going down to the mining vehicle garage to summon it is just because A, I'd have to go to the perimeter, B, it would take forever to drive to a location where there's gems, whereas here I can fly to an outpost, wherever a gem's nearby, land, and then pull the vehicle up at a platinum base store, and then drive to where those mining where the gems and things are, and then just use the mining vehicle for that. Of course, it depends on how difficult those rocks are. If I find two rocks that are too difficult, the small mining laser just won't be able to cut it. So we scroll down till we find hangar 9. Was it hangar 9 or pad 9? Don't think we have pads here, do we? Bit laggy as well. Alright, enter the ship. Yeah, I've run several times today. Trey and anyone else who knows what I play like is probably sitting there in abject horror. Okay, usual drill. This time we'll just do R again while it's powering up. We'll just sit here. We're not really going to any locations. We're just going to go to one of the little moons. While it's going on, I will actually show you some of those missions that generally you can do at any time, and you can see in terms of from those prices of ships how long it will take you to earn those things in game. So we go up to the mission log. You can see we've got 8,001 for taking 3. This one would take 3 parcels from 3 different locations and then they're all going to Aberdeen. So these 3 would pick up from these 3 locations on Hurston, and then take them to, well, 2 from Hurston, 1 from Magda, and then from Moon Magda, and then we take them to this location on Aberdeen. That would get me 8,000 UEC. It would probably take me about 30 or 40 minutes depending on how quickly I pick up those parcels, how quickly I get them into the ship, and how quickly I fly, and whether I run into pirates or players who decide to kill me, or whether I run into police who want to scan me and make me stop. So you've got those missions. Also got I've got a retrieval mission. This one would get me to go to a wreck and extract some information from watermelon. Last time I did this one, it was set for actually it was this one, and picking up the watermelon, and once I got the watermelon into my ship, the ship actually just wouldn't respond anymore. But again, this one is worth 9,000. Another investigation, this one is 4,000. So what when you're looking for an investigator, locate the status of someone who has got lost in an Aberdeen cave. Sometimes caves don't show up as locations you can go to, so this would be a good one to pick up, even if you don't find Banco Baron, because you get to the cave. When you go to the cave, you could actually do mining within the cave, so they can be quite lucrative for you. But Aberdeen is a planet you would need a spacesuit for, and I would suggest you use the Pembroke, because that will give you longer time. If you're just using the oh God, strike, I'm hopeless today. If you're just using the standard undersuit, so if you're just using the Odyssey 2 undersuit, you'll get about 30 minutes of time. If you're using one of the others, you'll get about 20 minutes of time. And it does vary. It depends on the atmosphere, it depends on the heat, it depends on other things as well. Sometimes it can be as low as 12 minutes, sometimes it can be as much as an hour. So you're generally looking at that. The Pembroke suit and the Novikov suit will just depend on how much oxygen you've got, and rather than anything else. And if you buy oxygen capsules from the store, you can actually recharge your tank as well, so you could actually stay multiple hours underground mining away. So anyway, they're the missions. So you can see if you did, some of these delivery missions, if you did 10 delivery missions, you're then looking at 80,000 which is, you know, basically halfway to your mining vehicle. So they do take a bit of time. That you've then got mercenary missions. These are base missions, kicking people out of a base. So this is an NPC combat mission. Generally, you do need a couple of people with you for this, and that means you'd be splitting that 14,000 depending on who you're with. You've got another one. Again, this is looking to take out Bane, and that job is worth 7,000 if you do that. Claim job missions tend to pay quite a bit. Tend to need a larger ship. You usually end up fighting half a dozen miners in prospectors or other ships, and then clearing out the gunnery platforms, and then once that's done, you'd get paid. Useful in a large ship with a crew who can take out the guns. If you're trying to use a ship where you've got to change, you know, where you need to swap guns and get out of the seat and change guns and other stuff, the time it will take, the enemies will just keep respawning, and you'll just be sitting there for hours. The call to arms is always a good one to do if you're going bounty hunting. By accepting that mission and killing bounties, you will actually end up getting, you know, 500 UEC for every one crime stat 1, and the higher the crime stat, the more credits you get. Maintenance, this is a matter of removing toxic waste from a place. These tend to be fairly good. You go in, you pick up the goods, you take them out. Once you've removed them from the planet, you can just dump them. Sometimes you can sell them, but they don't really care where you take it as long as you get rid of it. Bounty hunter missions, these tend to be more take out players. This one is getting certified to be able to do those missions, and an ACN alert is basically a call out saying, hey, I need help. Again, 10,000 UEC for these, and you can see this one has a timer on it. So they're the missions that you can tend to do, but you can see from those prices, you do 10 or so of those missions and you've got 100,000. You do 20 odd missions, you've got the price of your mining vehicle. Once you've got your mining vehicle, hopefully that means you can make credits a lot quicker. But let's now call up landing services. Because we're in our Mobilglass, we'll just keep staying in our Mobilglass. Well, I should have stayed in the Mobilglass. We will just call my landing services here. Since we closed our Mobilglass. Now, this is the reverse of what we did last time, but the nice thing is we can just take off by pressing the space bar. Raise our landing gear. I was just letting the gates open properly before I flew out, and I'm just going straight up. That's the easiest way to get out of one of those hangars, a vertical hangar. Just go straight up. Don't try and do anything funny or fancy or dancy. You are just straight up and you're fine. That looks like a ship coming in there, I think. Might be the space station. Oh, I think that's a space station. So that there is Tesla Station. Alright. Because I didn't alright, let's see, why don't we just go to it's not going to do it. That'll do. We'll go to Edmund. Oh no, we'll go somewhere else. We'll go somewhere. Let's say we'll fly to Pinewood. Alright. I'm generally not going to I don't think I'm going to quantum. Oh, it's on the other side of the planet. Curses. So we're going to take ourselves out of that mode, and then we'll quantum to Pinewood. You can see that the blue marker is now showing, which seems to indicate that I may be able to get a quantum jump to it. So we're going to try that. This couldn't kill me. I could, if I fly straight through a planet, it's likely going to kill me. Hopefully though, it's going to take me around the planet. And it took me around the planet. Sometimes it gets glitchy, and if you try and do that, it quantums you through the planet and your ship blows up. But not today. Hurston Dynamics Mining Station at Pinewood. Use my usual rate. So I'm just using the orbit, the marker there, just to help me target where I'm going. So I can help myself stay on target. I just want to get close enough, I just want to have it there so I can just see how distant, how far I need to go. I want to keep my the current heads up display there, but knowing the distance I'm flying, it does help me work out whether I'm too slow, too steep. I think because I'm too close now, it's not going to swap. Yep, it's not going to swap now, so I can just skip it there. I'm just keeping an eye on my altitude. It's 6,000 meters. I don't want to get too low. Just turn my lights on. That'll, if I get too close to the ground, that will start to show up. So we're going to slow down. We can turn our lights off. We're not going to need them now. We're under 9 kilometers from Pinewood, and we're 4,000 meters high. So basically 4 kilometers out. from distance. $2,000 meters high. For a second I just felt the ground was rushing up. That's had a bad illusion there. I should have believed my instruments. So 2,000 meters up off the ground and 3,000 meters out from Pinewood. Alright, we don't need that anymore because there's Pinewood there. Now we're not going to land on the platform. Usually there are platforms around here. The reason I'm not going to land on the landing platforms itself is that usually after time, if you're on those platforms, it will time you out and take your ship. I actually hope to be able to come back to this ship. But we do want to land near the Platinum Bay landing pads. Just turn the lights on just so we can see. So the Platinum Bay landing pads are these ones, these little ones on the side. And that's where I can spawn or summon the mining vehicle. So we're going to do that. And the landing gear. You can see the wind blowing me. That's the wind blowing the ship there. That's not me moving, that's the winds. I have a feeling this ship's going to get blown away. Certainly going to turn the engines off just because of the simple fact that there's too much dust. I'm going to turn the lights off as well. Turn the engines off. I think we've got a 30k coming. Okay, that seemed to work. Yep, we've got a 30k coming. Well, the ship has been blown away. So we do have a 30k and there it is there. So at that point I'm going to say ciao. I'm going to go to my end screen, hopefully, and there you go, there's my end screen. Woohoo! Fancy dancy setup this time, and I'll say ciao. Thanks for hanging out with me again. Atmosphere and 30Ks have been my bane, but we do have the ROC mining vehicle now, and that gives Jusatoon a little bit extra she can do. So next time what we'll try and do is we will try and get to a small outpost. We will land, we will go to Platinum Bay, we will get in the mining vehicle, and we will do some mining and see what we can pick up and gather. The land mining vehicle is generally enables you to pick up more than you can with the hand mining tool, but it's still not as good as the prospector or the mole, and the prospector is really good on planets. Anyway, on that note, thanks for hanging out with me. If you do like what I do, please like, subscribe, do all those other things that you know you like you do. Say hi in the chat, leave comments. I do read any comments you do leave. I will answer them. And yep, thanks for hanging out with us, Trey, and I will see you guys later. Alright, take care, God bless, and be well.